All right, so welcome to the Shattered Kingdom panel. This is our second panel ever, and really our biggest one by a long shot. So I'm sure a lot of you then are wondering what exactly Shattered Kingdom is. It talks a little bit about the brochure, but we haven't been hugely public until just recently. So Shattered Kingdom is it's a tactical strategy RPG featuring the Solar Empire and the Lunar Republic. So what that means is it's the best way to think of it, it's kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics or Advance Wars or Fire Emblem or XCOM or any of those games like that, crossed with a little bit of Mass Effect with ponies.
Ponies.
We've been working on this thing for 2 years now, and we've got an awesome team putting this together. So first I want to give everyone his props for our panelists, Penstroke.
It's like writing consultant, I guess, is the best thing because I haven't had a chance to do so much writing on it right now. But I peruse what other people write. And
you're the co-lead. He's co-lead with KCAT, Fall Equestria. And then Silfo is our lead artist and associate producer.
Oh.
Seventh Element's the lead musician, lead composer. And Radiarch is another one of our composers. All right, so we'll start with a brief synopsis of the story, and then we'll give you guys a gameplay demo, and then we'll open up for questions. So the story is basically that after Equestria has been attacked over and over, wrought some sort of havoc, there have been epic villains, there have been invasions, and all they've been able to do up to this point is counterattack with the elements, or the main six, using whatever they got. They hadn't had a very effective defense force for a long time, and a lot of the small towns are getting sick of it, especially when the changelings decide to come back in much more desperate attacks. They raid small towns, they're getting isolated little villages, and all of these underspoken for towns ponies are being really harassed. But up in the major cities, it's doing all right. And so there's a lot of political turmoil over this, and their main supporter is Luna, who really wants to stand up. She knows what it's like to stand up for the downtrodden, having it with her own experience, and so she really looks out for these other ponies. This all comes to a climax when the changelings finally launch another attack on Canterlot, and they almost get to Luna, but it turns out unsuccessful. And that just causes all kinds of chaos, and the changeling attacks are quelled at that point, but Luna decides to instate a countrywide militia. She's having levies in every small town and major city, and even when it's being asked by all the nobles to not do that, because
the nobles are a little worried by the commoners with the weapons and everything else, upsetting the balance of things that they've enjoyed so much.
Yeah, and to top that, while many of the nobles are just trying to look out their own interests, Celestia is really concerned about turning Equestria into a military state. She's worried that if they build up this huge army, neighboring countries are going to see it, and they're going to think that they're going to try and go to war, and they're going to attack because of it. And they have this huge debate, and although the two sisters don't really want a conflict to cause out of it, they see no other option than for Luna to be held for trial. But instead of that happening, she escapes Canterlot, and she goes and forms her own kind of union up in the Crystal Empire. Cadence, having been kidnapped by changelings herself, is really sympathetic to this whole idea, and she houses them. It slowly, over time, becomes to the point where these are two distinct nations, even if they don't initially acknowledge each other as that, and eventually breaks out into civil war. And so then that's where you start as the player with Luna trying to escape. You're a major military commander, not the leader of the general of all the armies, but you're a leader of a task force, and you're well respected, and you kind of are a big player in all of this, in either trying to stop her escape or helping it, and so they put a lot of faith into you regardless which side you choose. And from there, your choices determine not only, what side you're on, who joins you, but the outcome of the entire country. What that's going to mean for you gameplay-wise is that we're creating a whole crazy wide variety of outcomes of events. You can switch sides partway through the war. There's good endings and bad endings planned for each side. There's endings. There's sides that we're not even going to tell you about. You have alternatives to Lunar Republic and Solar Empire if you look for it.
The whole concept we're going with the story is kind of, the metaphor we've been using is Minecraft crafting, where elements of the story let you get ingredients, and that causes other story elements later in the game to become available. But if you use those elements to craft, say, some particular event, then they are unavailable to craft another event. And this isn't just items in your inventory. This is the things you've done, the characters you've set up for different things, and basically even the mentality you've been going through for fighting. Do you knock out or do you kill?
Exactly. And the whole idea behind this is we want the players to have meaningful choices, not binary options. We don't want a good or evil morality scale. We don't want you to say, we don't want you to just sit there and pick
red or blue.
Yeah, pick red or blue. We want it so that you can actually explore yourself and actually make decisions as though it were you in that position. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you guys a demo of the game as it currently is. This build we've been really scraping together for the last few months. Yeah, I know. I didn't think it was going to do that, though. It's not making sound, though.
Can we get sound off the computer, please? You plugged it into no, that's the headphone jack. No, that's the microphone jack now.
Whatever
Had it
the heck
right.
is
Yeah, did you use your volume on?
Your volume. Yeah, it looks like.
Sorry about this.
Yeah.
That's coming out of here now.
Yeah.
This.
Technical issues.
Where's your speakers?
Is that coming from the one underneath by chance?
Doesn't sound like it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I had a problem.
Get a FM first.
Yeah.
You know,
y'all-
that laptop can handle it. That laptop can handle it.
Y'all can hear this? All right, cool.
I can't see it. There's a cricket down here. Okay.
By the way, this incredibly awesome intro theme was done by Seventh Element, so. Why can't it see it?
I know.
Escape and restart it.
Yeah.
Get in the head.
No. Close and open the game.
Sorry about this, guys.
There's like no way to test with a projector before we actually get up here. We have like no time before.
Oh, they can see.
Yeah, I mean, technical issues kind of always happen when you're hooking up your own laptop to a new system.
Yeah.
Change it.
It's still like pre-alpha, so yeah, there's quite a few bugs. It may just be your
Yes.
sound input is not set right.
It's called disease.
Well, what's wrong with the screen?
Well, we see your mouse now.
All right,
Yeah.
let's try this. Again, I don't want to. Okay. There we go. That's kind of the idea. And honestly, this is based off of some template UI. We're definitely working on adding to it later and making it our own.
Again, this is still really pre-alpha, so we're still using quite a few pre-made assets. Eventually, this will all be custom assets, but
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and this awesome the background I had in this awesome image here is by QC. I forgot to mention the other artists actually.
yeah, we have, aside from myself, we have Husey, we have Assassin Monkey, and we have Adrarius. If you don't recognize the names, you would recognize their art.
You would. It's
Yes.
amazing. All right, so let's get this started. And as we were saying before, this is very pre-alpha. We're not even at alpha yet, so this is a sneak peek as much sneak peeks get, and there might be some bugs. If it crashes, then I'm sorry. So, in the final game, your choices determine your fate. But today, we're going to have to decide for yourself. So, which faction are we going to fight for?
I think I hear Solar Empire the loudest.
Solar Empire, 'cause that's the only one.
We did Lunar Republic last year, so I'm trying to switch it up.
And this background music here is done by the
Radix.
other musician on our team. His name is Radix.
That's right. Can you guys all read this fine? Do we need to read it? Well,
Yeah. Funny story about that.
yeah, we actually wanted to get to that. So, but we'll tell. So, yeah. It was during season 4. Sil here was working like crazy on this thing because it's not an architectural masterpiece, or I guess it is. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous asset, and it's not easy to do just in this style, to switch the perspective that's not available in any shot in the show, so you have to make up quite a bit of junk and working to get the details just right for like a few days, quite
And,
a while headbanging on my desk.
right.
And then the season 4 finale.
Well, yeah. Then, so she.
Like-
I remember you were working on this in a live stream, that house, and you finished up, and you gave that like sigh of relief during the live stream, and we're all like, "Oh, that's great." And then a week later, they blew it up.
Blew it up.
So, sorry, what's that?
It's hard to say.
We're gonna do questions after the demo.
No,
all right?
he wants the voice acting, but
Oh, what about?
they want it's like saying we can select from the people here, but we'll be fine. We've got 5 people up here.
Maybe we can get the lights off for the projector to see it better? Would that
Yeah.
be possible?
Oh God.
All right. Who's playing who?
Oh, God.
You're Zenith. Too late. You're first.
God damn it.
You want me Rarity?
Do I look like Rarity? to you?
Yeah, you do look
Okay,
like
fine.
Rarity.
I am not a voice actor, so you're about to feel some pain. I'm sorry.
I'm calling Stone Hooves.
Yep.
Oh God.
We got 6
And I will
characters and
just-
5 people.
I didn't
so-
think of
Whatever's
that. We are
happening.
going to end up on Cringe Channel if we do this. You know this, right? Okay.
I'm gonna be cringing the whole time, so that's appropriate.
Okay.
All
So
right.
just so you know, everybody here is cringing.
Yeah, we're cringing here.
Do you want? What else do we got? Shining armor.
Sure.
And then you can be Applejack.
I will handle whatever's needs.
That'd be Applejack.
All right, so shall we begin?
Yep.
Commander, I'd like to speak with you about the mission, if you have a moment.
Oh, what's on your mind,
You have to
Zenith?
stand up.
I'm not sure how I feel about moving troops into Ponyville. This is the last neutral ground in Equestria. If we don't find evidence of Lunar Republic, the political backlash will be heavy.
And so then we get a lot of dialogue choices in this demo. Actually, I want to take this opportunity to point out that there are a lot of choices in the demo, and we're going to be in the game room at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock
So
today.
you can play it, you can pick Lunar Republic then.
You can, and you can use a
You see the
variety of
other side of the story, or pick your own choices on Solar Empire side. Maybe.
So we're going to go with, are you questioning my orders?
I'll tell you when.
Lieutenant.
Oh. No, ma'am. I'm simply acting as your advisor. If we must take action, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that we use discretion.
Duly noted.
Why do you get all the short lines? Before we go bargaining for any political centers, I suggest we ask the common townspony about anyone suspicious. Any pony. Any pony.
All right. So, oh, shoot.
Oh no.
Like we said, pre-alpha, some glitches, sprite
Yeah.
sheet changes. There's going to be
Got
some
to fix that.
flicking. And I gave you this asset.
Good.
It's all right. It's all right.
There are bugs.
Okay, yeah. One of the bugs, there's one known bug left in there. This might be an older build or something. The Zenith here is going to transform when I'm moving. It's not affecting the game other than that. So, yeah.
Just
She's
pretend it's a
changeling.
changeling. Yeah, yeah.
I wrote this one, actually.
I could have sworn there was some kind of explosion here. Oh well, I guess it's hard for the ones building our homes to keep up with current events these days.
Oh my god, I can't believe I left that bug in. This bug is going to be gone by the time that you people are playing it. All these bugs are. So I think we did see a couple strangers go by here. I went down by the boutique to the south. So we're going to explore Ponyville, try to find where Rarity is. We all know where Rarity is, but this character is not exactly familiar with Ponyville. And there's so much here to see. Let's talk to this lady. The statue seems like we're making some sort of political statement these days. And also, here's this girl. So Sweet Apple Acres is to the south of here, but no one's seen Applejack around here for ages.
Are the main six going to play a major role in this game?
They will.
Yes. So if we go down here, then you guys will see Sweet Apple Acres, or at least some of it. And yeah, it's good stuff. You can't go into Sweet Apple Acres yet. That's something what we're thinking possibly will happen, but can't yet. All right, so here we're at Town Hall, and let's go visit Rarity. She'll talk to us, right? You ready, Seven?
Oh, dang.
I never thought I'd meet the element of generosity in a place like this. From what I hear, you're an upper-class kind of mayor.
Well, even ponies like me have to start somewhere. Besides, I'm the only one here to have my things moved to my new boutique in Canterlot. It's been a long time coming. I'd hate to say it's because of the war, but it's forced my hoof to a degree. Oh, how rude of me. I am Miss Rarity, or you may refer to me as Rarity, or Miss Rarity.
It's nice to be able to finally meet the face behind the poster, Rarity. My name is Commander Eclipse, and this is my tactical advisor, Zenith.
Charmed.
It's an honor to meet you, Commander. I assume you're here for the same reason the Lunar Republic are.
You know why they're here?
I wouldn't say I know why they're here, but I do know who is here. Applejack, the element of honesty, who is accompanying some Lunar Republic soldiers outside by the look of things.
You know where she was with? Okay.
Well, nothing has been burned to the ground, so I'm willing to wager they're at Town Hall.
We have to go after them.
I'm going with you, Commander. I need to talk some sense into that girl.
I'd like to point out at this point that the little portraits behind it are temporary as well. Yeah.
It's not so much a bug, it's just kind of forduddling with the engine. We've been talking about that, and it's really unsure right now. It required a lot more artwork, and
It's a wish list sort of thing.
exactly, that's it.
We want to do it, but there may not be time to do it.
All right, so then we see them here talking to Mayor. Hold it. Oh, that's me too. I use this less, thinking she can order me around.
Wonderful. It seems the opposition is employing mongrels to lead their armies now.
Watch your tongue, Missy. I've half a mind to cut it out.
That's you too.
Zenith, let's refrain from taunting.
Apologies, Commander.
Turn up.
Yeah. So this awesome track is by Seventh Element as well. Almost all of the art in the demo is actually done by Silphobe, and a lot of it was done in the last month. So I mean, let's give her props for that.
Stand over here, nerd.
So what am I reading? Shining Armors.
Commander Eclipse, I wasn't expecting you here.
So we're gonna go with.
It's
What
not
say
going to the headphones
in-
for some reason.
Get out of here.
Well,
Get the heck out of here.
before we keep going, I want to say the dialogue choices that you'll make in encounters like this do have a meaningful impact. It's possible for really tense situations to be diffused by talking your way out of it, but you really got to know what you're talking about. All right, we'll go with why are you here? What are you doing here, Captain?
We've done all the proper paperwork and filed everything. We've every right to be here.
This town's neutral territory. We're supposed to know if the Lunar Republic is coming here. Now, please answer the question. What are you doing here?
We've come here so that Applejack can claim the rights to Sweet Apple Acres.
Applejack, you wouldn't dare.
Rarity, please. This doesn't concern you.
This concerns the Empire. Which one are we going with? Why do you just want the farm?
With Applejack supporting the Republic, we think it's only fair to use her family's farm to feed our soldiers.
What? Sweet Apple Acres is part of Ponyville. We all depended on it to keep our community alive, Applejack. If you let it be a war stratagem...
Stratagem.
Okay. You ruin everything Ponyville is supposed to be.
Rarity, this is my choice. Sweet Apple Acres belongs to the Apple family. You ain't got any right telling me what to do with it.
All right, which one are we going to go with here?
Granny Smith, she's getting old. She doesn't see the world for what it is. I can't burden her with this kind of decision. I need to make it myself.
Applejack, Granny Smith may be old, but she isn't ignorant. She deserves to have a say in what happens to the farm she spent her whole life building.
All right.
How could I? What was I supposed to say? That Sweet Apple Acres would be supplying a war? That we'd be putting soldiers right by Ponyville? Okay, the deal's off. The farm belongs to Ponyville. We'll leave.
That's not your call to make, Applejack. As much as I don't want to get Ponyville involved, we need that food.
Well, I ain't handing over the deed to the Republic. If you try and take it, you're gonna have a fight with me too.
Fine, we're moving out. Stonehooves, tell the troops to pack up. Applejack, you and I need to have a word with you in private.
Aye, Captain.
Yes, sir.
So, we actually succeeded in ending the conflict without bloodshed. But let's see what the combat system's like anyways, huh?
Well done, you guys.
All right. So this is mostly for the benefit of the game room demo, but we plan on teaching you over the course of the game because obviously these types of games are very complex, and throwing everything at you all once is not a good idea. However, if you guys play any of this in the demo room or the game room later on, it's just going to have a hotkey list at the top. There'll probably be one of us standing by to ask any questions so we can help guide you through it because, like I said, it's not overly complex, but anything with a keyboard and this kind of interface can get confusing. All right, so start out, place each of the three characters. All right, so this is what we've got here, and this is all what we're fighting. The way this combat system works, that's unique from most turn-based strategy games. We'll get to questions in a minute. The way this combat system works that's unique to most turn-based strategy games is that you're going to have an action pool to draw from. So rather than each guy moving once or only getting one move a turn, you have right now 12 moves for your entire army. That includes attacks, special abilities, 12 things to do. Now, if you special characters can increase those when they level up, and if you kill a special character in battle, then you can actually take the other teams away. There's also going to be normal units. There'll be lieutenants and stuff that can add to that number as well, so that you can kind of spend your resources on more action points. I didn't think that's movement. Shit. Sorry, what was that? Oh yeah, that's a good idea. All right, so well, as it stands right now, we just have the 3 basic pony types, and then also the basic troops. So you have unicorns, pegasi, and earth pony guards, and then there's also conscripted ponies that are they're part of where the ponies you see in the show are the guard. The way we see it, there would be a separate army, and that's what these guys belong to. So the Earth Pony Guards are obviously the tough ones. They can take the most damage, deal the most out, or deal a good amount out. The ones that deal the most melee damage would be the Pegasi, and obviously they have the advantage of being able to move really fast. And the unicorns have a variety of spells. In addition to that, the characters are all going to obviously have their own roles, but they're not going to be defined to like classic classes per se. As it stands right now, Rarity is more of a kind of support role. She's not really the aggressive type, and she's using her magic more to keep everyone cheered up and motivated than to harm others, but she has some attack spells. Zenith has a lot of buff stuff, but she's a lot stricter and a lot more callous, so she's much more focused on doing damage. The main character, which Eclipse is her name right now, is going to be however you define her. She's not going to be, it's not like you're going to pick a class or anything like that. You're just going to have skills that you can upgrade, and she'll be good at whatever you want her to be. That's all we've got in there for now. Obviously, there are plans for other types, and we can talk about those during Q&A, but we'll finish this battle over here.
What? They asked about the knockout option. Yeah.
Oh, as opposed to killing enemies? Do you mean? The knockout option? We've had some talk about that, and it's really dependent on our technical limitations, and not just in the respect of what like the engine can do, but just what we have time to add in and how many different paths we want to create. Because we do want to create the option for you to be less aggressive, to not have to kill other ponies, but it might not be feasible to have that.
It's at least not in this stage of the game.
That
It is
it's
an
not in there
intent.
yet. But it's a good question.
Some, yeah, it depends. But,
I've been tagged with not using them if it's removed and it's not fixed. I'm a little nervous.
What?
Yeah. So whatever choices you make in the game, Shining Armor is going to be kind of your rival. He's going to be the blue to your red. He's going to, like, he has viable reasons to join either side in this conflict. You know, for one thing, his sister is on one side and his wife's on the other. He has got, he wants to protect the country, but he also wants to protect it for its own safety. He wants it to be peaceful. So if you, whatever side you choose, he's going to find reasons to oppose you.
Things are not good in the life of Shining Armor right now.
No.
Poor.
That said, you can definitely make attempts to get through to him and maybe change things for the better.
Shining Armor cannot move very far, though.
He can. I don't know why he doesn't.
Shining Armor's a little bit of a juggernaut. It's a little hard to run around.
Got this little duel going on here. Maybe.
Out of moves.
Oh,
Poor Shining's like, nope, 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 nope. Poor guy.
He's only got like one health. He's got Shining Armor health left.
All right.
And with that, we're open up to questions. So we'll just pick people. Yeah. All right.
All right, you like in the third row. Well, you've had your hand up like once or twice already.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Is there going to be a playable alpha soon?
Depending
Probably
on your
not.
definition of soon.
And depending on your definition of alpha. And probably depending on your definition of playable.
Every word.
Eventually, yes. Yes, there will be something to play for you guys.
Site I can check it on?
Yes, there is. And we just opened up a Twitter and a Tumblr. The studio that we're building this under is called Alicorn Games. So look for Twitter at alicorngames.tumblr.com and Twitter at Alicorn Games. And we've been tweeting every day up to the panel and keeping up with news about the game on Tumblr.
Okay, how about the guy like right next to you with the gray shirt? Yeah, the gray, long hair.
Are there going to be any multiplayer options, maybe?
I As it's planned currently, there are not. We thought about it very early in development, but it's just not reasonable. Instead of duking it out against other players in combat, you're duking it out in kind of a morality sense.
Yeah, yeah.
How about back there with the hat, right next to you?
At the start of the game, do you get to choose which side you want to be on, the Lunar Republic or the Solar Empire? Do you get to choose?
You're going to be forced into some hard decisions, but it's not going to be a clear choice. You're not going to be tricked into joining the side you don't want, hopefully. But it's not going to be like someone walks up to you and says, which side do you want to be on? It's all dependent on the actions that you make. As time goes on, you won't strictly be bound to one side or another. And certain endings can turn out happier than others. But the best endings require a lot of work. They need you to really have your moral code intact. Insert. Go ahead.
So is Eclipse going to be
No.
Colors, no, and we've also talked about customizing Eclipse, and we're mixed about it. This is actually a good time for me to point this out. We had some people left because I really want to hear the response on this. We're making this game for you guys. This is for the fans. Obviously, we're not going to make a dime out of it. It's going to be playable for free. It's going to be online. It's going to be free for download. So we want to make what you guys want to play. If you have suggestions, then put them up on the Twitter. Respond to Twitter. Ask on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Let us know. We really will consider them, and we love the feedback. All right.
Guy with hat.
Are you worried about being CNP'd by Hasbro?
We're worried.
Oh yeah.
We have plans for that. Some of them we can't talk about. Mostly what we're going to talk about is that if that happens, the chances are if that occurs, it's because we've gotten too big. And if we've gotten too big, then that means people are interested. So this is why I say, let us know what you think, because if we do get C&D'd, we're going to ask you, we're not going to lose momentum. We're going to keep going. We're going to make something that's ours, though, and we're going to ask you what it's going to be.
How about the guy right by Big Mac there?
What structure are you guys looking at in terms of linear, non-linear, endpoint in the game? Non-linear?
Incredibly non-linear. I mean, it's non-linear in the sense of the BioWare games where there's obviously going to be an ending. I mean, it's not going to be open world or anything like that, but it's non-linear in the sense that there are so many different choices.
The intent at the moment, and Gremlin is free to correct me, is that when you're looking at a map view, and there will be a map view intended, yes, no?
Yes, that's the intent.
It's you'll see the missions you have available. You can choose which ones you go for. As you do one, some others will become unavailable due to conflicting things or time restraints or all sorts of other things.
Yeah.
And as we said, it's when you get certain combinations of other missions, it's like crafting. It makes a certain option available, and you can choose to pursue it, but you may get another option that can be made with those same ingredients of events.
And a lot of these choices aren't going to be clear. A lot of these are going to be you'll be in the middle of a fight, and you'll have the option to execute a prisoner or something like that, and it might seem completely viable, but someone might scorn you for it later. On the other hand, if you don't, then maybe they'll break free and cause some sort of havoc later, and it's only because you couldn't make that hard choice that you pay the consequences. There are consequences to almost every action in this game. Sometimes there's always good consequences, sometimes there's always bad consequences. It's usually a mix. And that's the idea.
How about some love to the back with the guy with the sword? He's just
Gigantic.
dying back there with his arms.
The gigantic box cutter is what that is.
Later in the game, can you make your own character? And also, can you make your own nation?
No.
No.
Nation,
no.
Think of the character selection a bit like Dragon's Age. There's a few presets that you can go with.
There might be none.
There might be none.
When I mentioned you guys defining things, the reason I mentioned that, actually, I kind of lost track with that whole spiel, is that...
Yes, you do.
Well, yeah.
It
Well,
happens.
we were originally going to have a male and female variant. We were thinking about a color variant, but the way we're doing art doesn't make that really viable. But what we realized as we were working on it was that if we stick strictly to a female variant, we can write with that in mind. We can make it so that the character has like feminine traits. Where
There's quite a bit of limit on what we can do just because we're all volunteers. I mean,
That
we
said-
have a lot of stuff to do outside of this.
this is true
So-
also, that when you ask about alphas, that we're working on this in our free time, and we're working very, very hard on it. But we can only dedicate so much. But back to the character creation, like, we want to know from you guys, would you prefer to have someone that you could customize, that you can pick, or something that's tailored? So the story's tailored to you because you let us go with it ourselves a little bit. So talk about that stuff online. How about in the front here?
Yes, I actually had a question and observation.
Okay.
The observation was how you described the combat. It reminded me a lot of Records of Justice. The action and
I actually drew inspiration from Valkyria Chronicles. That's a big favorite of mine.
Ooh, yes.
My actual question was, it looks like you were making it an RPG maker. What version did you use, and did you use any other software?
Currently, we're using RPG Maker VH8. We're talking about creating our own engine, but that's only going to happen if it can happen. As we said, we're volunteer, and if creating our own software is unrealistic, then we're just going to make a game. That's the important thing. How about over there? Yeah.
What sort of level of technology is working with the game? Like, what have you seen cannons and muskets are doing?
That's an interesting question, and we've had a lot of discussion about that. There's going to be some. We're taking the technology and kind of being very liberal about it. What you see in the show. So there, and also none of this is set in stone. I want to point this out because we want to see what actually writes well. If we implement this stuff and it seems stupid, then we're not going to keep it. But there is a plan for like firearms, because the idea being that Griffins actually invented them because they have fingers. And we've seen howitzers and party cannons, so there might be some sort of artillery as well.
But that just may be a resource they're trying to take control of.
Might be.
Maybe.
Might be.
Ooh.
How about?
How about the one holding Luna way up in the back? I think I might have a clue what your preference is for Solar Empire or Lunar Republic.
Actually, my question has to do with, are you going to actually explain why the kingdom has been shattered? Why it's been split down the middle?
We kind of had that at the beginning, and you may have come in late, but the explanation is that the changeling attacks have provoked kind of a sense of insecurity in the kingdom, especially that something that's happening in the game is that there's continued attacks on the small towns, like little raids where things are getting destroyed, maybe ponies are getting love sucked, whatever the changelings do when they raid. And that is creating strife because the ponies in the more secure cities, the higher class, the Manhattan, the Canterlot, are secure. They're secured by the standing army, but the army is not big enough to defend all of the small towns. And so part of the strife is coming when Luna tries to organize militias for these small towns, where the high class and Celestia do not agree with this, and it's just like, it's a domino effect of doom.
We've got a really multi-tiered story going on in this game. We're actually really lucky. Like I said, we had Henstroke here, K-Cat. We've got a couple of other volunteer writers that I don't actually know what their web names are. I don't want to say their real names in here.
Yeah.
But we, and so that's let us make a really like complex story. So there's this very high level political stuff going on that might be really complex, and it might not be your thing, but we still have the lower level character development and the meteor story and inside of that as well.
Okay, how about light blue shirt? Yeah.
So my question. Oh. Hello. Okay. My question is like a late game or whatever. I know that this is very early on. What would you want the game to look at? Like, what would be your endpoint? Like,
I'm not sure I understand the question.
like as far as
When would you say it's gold edition instead of beta or alpha? And like,
Yeah.
it's done.
When we've got all the levels in, all the characters in.
yeah, you don't have to like be just like what is your dream for your project?
I can kind of like, I'm not sure if this is what you're asking, but I do admit that a lot of fan projects, because they're just doing it volunteer, and so they because fan projects tend to find a way to work this into their normal lives, then it tends to drag on forever. They want 1,000,001 things to be put in it, and every time they think of something new, they want that as well. We've got an end goal in mind. I'm not sure how to describe it beyond what you've seen. It's more than what you've seen there, obviously, but we've got how many characters? Aside
Higher
from the
level of
show
polish,
characters.
more characters are in there that we have planned and in the development, and all the towns set in. So Canterlot, Manhattan, you'll be able to play in, Appaloosa, things like that.
And also ones that we haven't seen, like Stalingrad and well,
Niagara
Now we've
Falls.
seen Manhattan, but that was
Yeah.
unseen when we had started this game. How about Blue Hat over there? Right there, yeah.
What would happen if a main character were to die? Like if Rarity died, would they stay dead for the entire game, or would they come back like at the end of the chapter?
Do you mean in combat?
Yeah, if they died in combat.
If they die in combat, then generally it's just like a feigning thing. That said, there are certain characters, we haven't talked about whom yet, to be honest, and whether or not that involves the main cast is undecided, but we're planning on characters that might be able to die through the story. Again, this is based on your decisions, and they're not going to be easy decisions.
Again, this is partially where we can reference Valkyrie Chronicles a little bit. It's like there's a few characters that will only get knocked out in combat if they go down, but all the others are going to die.
Yeah, your basic guys you're going to lose them if they die. How about over there, black shirt?
Yes, you mentioned something about your ideas for unit types earlier. Could you tell us some of the ideas you have in mind?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
You said you wanted to have different unit types.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about those?
Well, honestly, a lot of the pony ones are just kind of extensions of this. Actually, I can mention a few, and I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to because I love them. So the Lunar Republic is based in the Crystal Kingdom, the Crystal Empire. So they've got unique resources on their side. One unit that we came up with recently was Crystal Dragoons. That armor you see them joust with, they've got actual crystal ponies wearing that, duking it out, and they're going to be like heavy hitters. We are also planning, although not guaranteed, to have mercenaries. So that would include griffins, I think diamond dogs.
Yeah. We talked about some diamond dog mercenaries, some zebra mercenaries, like just bringing in a few of the other races into this conflict, though not through an official means, like, oh, we're the whole kingdom siding with the Solar Empire. No, it's you're paying people.
How about the mask here, even Mr. Hanelon?
Mask with the Twilight.
Right? Oh,
No,
over here.
there.
Closer to us. Closer. Thank you.
Hot, cold, hot.
What programs do you use for whichever projects, like, Photoshop or stuff?
For all art, I think all the artists use Photoshop. Definitely most of this is made in Photoshop.
And what else?
As for the writing, we're using Google Docs for collaboration.
And then we mentioned we're using RPG Maker for the game software. Now that's subject to change, but that's what we're currently doing.
I guess for the musicians, I'm using FL Studio and Radio. Tell them what you use.
I use Linux Multimedia Studio, and nobody knows what it is because it's free.
He's insane. Just know this.
Oh, how about you in the hat? Yeah.
You were speaking of mercenaries. Is there going to be some sort of currency system, or?
Yeah.
Oh, and also, where can you play it? Where? What?
Where can
Yeah.
you play the pre-alpha?
Yeah.
The
that's what I mean.
Baltimore Arcade, which I think is.
I actually don't know where that is.
You don't know where that is?
We'll find it.
It's over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's down by the events.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's 7 o'clock. And what was the first question again? Oh, currency. We're planning a currency system. Now, what it affects is we're not certain about. We've been talking about having troops either bought or requisitioned like you either get we've been debating whether or not it's like how we just showed you in the demo where they're already there for you to fight with, or if you have to supply your own army, and that would be one of those things that we'd love to ask you guys about.
Okay, we have like 8 minutes left, I think. How about the girl who started this Solar Empire Lunar Republic thing at the beginning?
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way. That got me so hyped. I can hear you. I'll repeat the question.
Mike, before I... Hello? Okay. Before I ask my question, I just want to say that you guys have, with the demo so far and the artwork, you've done a really nice job. I think that there have been fan pictures of Solar Empire and the Lunar Republic, and to actually make that into a game I thought was a really brilliant idea. But my question is that, like, as far as maybe, like, the changelings go, are they going to, like, are there troops that could possibly be changelings, or could you, like, get troops that are changelings, or
Enemy in the
are you going to, like, face Queen Chrysalis yourself at some point?
Possibly. That's the thing about changelings, you never know.
Well, that's the whole point of the question. You never...
What if everybody in the game's a changeling?
All right.
It's our UFO ending. I just know it.
This may or may not be related, but like I said, we have a lot of endings planned.
All right.
Well, I mean, I don't really see it being segmented into levels, so it's kind of hard to answer. But the major cities you got are Canterlot, Ponyville, Manhattan,
Stalingrad.
Appaloosa, and Stalingrad. And then we also have concept artwork and plans for Niagara Falls,
Everfree.
Everfree Forest, definitely,
Gorge.
and the Castle
Galloping.
of the Two Sisters in
Yeah.
the Everfree. There's going to be that.
How many battles in the campaign? About how long?
Oh, we haven't worked that out yet.
Yeah, I guess got right in
there.
front of you with the green.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll work with him.
How many quote-unquote playable levels are there, like Ponyville regions or like Canterlot?
Currently?
Yeah, currently that are like playable.
We're not going to disclose that. I mean, playable, like for the public, just this one. What we've got, well, we got it. Sorry. How about over there? Yeah. Right in front of you. 2 rows. Yeah, you got them.
Do you have like a current year or a current prediction to where the release date for this game would be?
No.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. I mean, I have. I don't want to say a hard date because I'm not certain. The plan is to do it no more than like 4 years from now. Really, we're just gonna try and keep up with like the show. Not keep up with the show in the canon. We're gonna see about that, but we're gonna, like as long as the show's still running, we've kind of got some time to work.
Yeah, the thing about volunteer projects is we can't determine time. We're not on a budget, so we don't have.
What you guys just saw was 2 years of work, which honestly, it's been
a
a
rough 2 years, though.
Yeah, it really was. So it's hard for me to say that because while what you saw was 2 years of work, last year we had like a 12th of what we got up here now. So who knows where it's going to go.
And one more. What you talked about a map and like missions through time base. Does that mean like outside of a level, there's going to be like a turn-based system?
Yeah, actually, we have a plan or plans for a system that so beginning of the game is going to be mostly story-driven, linear, and all your actions are driven by the characters. But once you reach a certain point, then Lunar, Celestia, whichever you're side with, has more faith in your abilities after seeing your success, and they give you command of a big army. And then suddenly the overworld map becomes a lot more relevant because you have small armies that you have to send to different towns and kind of manage your resources. And so that's going to be one of the big factors in the different endings is that you can win the war and lose like most of the cities. And And we've even talked about, although we're not certain about, is if you could even lose the war but in the game. That's, again, one of those things we'd like to ask you guys about, because we don't know if that would be any fun.
Okay, how about with the vinyl blob? We'll just speak, you know. Okay.
The question is, since you choose which side you're fighting for, do you fight the princess of the opposing faction? And yes. And it's crazy.
Do you have that artwork?
What artwork?
The Celestian armor.
Oh, not on here.
Ah, well, if you ever...
Actually, I might, but I'm not going to dig for it.
Yeah, if you look at my page, my DeviantArt page, like the prime image of Celestian golden armor, that's what her armor is going to be based off of in game.
All right, how about, you're over there, how about that guy in red shirt?
Okay, is Discord going to be somehow caught up in these events?
No. Yes and no. He's going to, we're thinking he's probably going to be in the game. He's too important to the story to not be caught up into it now. This is, at this point, there's so much chaos. He doesn't want to change anything. He loves it.
Yeah, he's just sitting back and basking.
Yeah, it's like he also doesn't want to pick a side, because if the other side wins, he'll get stoned again.
Exactly. So he'll probably be involved, but not on a side.
We have like time for one or two more questions.
If they're really quick, two quick or one long.
So let's get like right beside on the green shirt, so we don't have to run across the room.
Are you going to allow multiple saves in order to play through the story on a different side? And in the overworld map, is there going to be a caravan that'll take up time where you buy items?
Yes, and I didn't hear the second question.
Is there going to be some sort of caravan on the world map where you can go and spend time in order to buy weapons, but it'll
Probably be able
close
to
up
buy stuff in
missions?
towns.
Okay.
How about Spike in the front?
Yes. My question is a short one. These mercenaries that you're going to be implementing, do you have to pay them every mission, or are they, once you buy them, are they gone?
One upfront fee.
One upfront fee, yeah.
All right, that's all I want.
We still have time. Yeah. You guys are really making these quick. It was great. You right there. Right next to him.
Okay, so we heard everybody else's opinion on Lunar Republic or Solar Empire. What are your guys' picks?
Neither, and that's why I'm doing this.
Oh, okay.
I like United.
The thing is that I'm not actually a fan of either faction. Like I said, this game is for you guys. I don't really care. I'm starting to get into it now, but I don't have as strongly support for either faction because the whole thing is cool to me.
And we're done.
And we're good. Yeah, we're done. Sorry.
Thank you guys a lot for coming.
Yeah, thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
And yeah, game room 7 to 9. You can play it.
Love to see you there. Also, we'll be outside the hall if you want to talk to me or anyone else afterwards. Thank you very much.